Hello, everyone. Blue Star Saber here with
the manga reader, and I know it's like late after hours.
yes. That's partly because I've tried to wait an hour for Luckychi to join, but that was a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, this is what happens when you do like a podcast in the day, thinking that someone will be available later afterwards.
Oh well, but yeah, this is it's that's life for you. But yeah, but anyway,
After hours.
I'm just gonna have to edit the discussion box later down the line, but description box later down the line. But anyway, I'm here with Mangareader to discuss the latest chapter of My Hero Academia, 362. Light fades to rain, or as I like to call it, let's see, a hero dies.
Oh man.
With an exclamation and question mark, of course. But who is that? Well, we'll just get into it with the summary and all that stuff. Which, yes, let's begin. Unless you have some more words you want to say, Margarita.
I don't have anything that really needs to be said beyond what I already said.
Fair enough. Anyway, the chapter begins with from the last one with Sun Eater preparing his like a food cannon and all that stuff. As he thinks back to like all his like witty important people in his life, his hero mentor, Fat Gum, his his junior students in like Red Riot and Tetsa, and of course his best friend, Lumenium. As he thinks about how he has always gave up on himself and all that stuff, but now everyone has believed in him and all that stuff. He's just able to like be easy on himself now, and he wants to thank everyone for all he's gone through. As Shigaraki prepares for the cannon and all that stuff, as he's trying to reach it, but Sun Eater fires his vast hybrid plasma cannon, telling the villain to get wrecked. As we see the majority of Shigaraki's extra body parts getting blown to bits. With him just quickly saying how the heroes just don't seem to get it, but just as he's trying to regenerate and all that stuff, he gets punched in the face by Lumenium. As we see how the laser skies right through the sky and all that stuff. And as the smoke derbis all the way across to like a village town or small town or village on the other end of the ocean. But as like I'm trying to remember her. I'm trying to remember her name. Negia.
Yeah.
As the smoke clears and she questions how. As we see, I think Shigaraki destroys the arm cannon, and Lumenium gets pounded by a bunch of like Shigaraki's fists. With him talking about how the hero should think about the fact that All Might in his prime and all that stuff. Asking if something like that would have actually killed him. And tells him that, come on, if he's as strong as All Might now, does it really think that could kill him, and tell him to use their heads? But he ends up noticing Bakugo is stepping forward. As he tells Best Genius to look after the others, while Shigaraki starts to pay attention to him again, as we see Bakugo saying he's got to win this, as he asks this question to Midoriya, who is not here. But as we can see, he is bloody in one side of the face. In fact, I think it's completely... I don't think he can actually see in that eye.
Mm-hmm.
With Best Genius trying to stop him. And then, of course, Shigaraki... Bakugo leaps straight towards Shigaraki, and Tritsia managed to get behind him and I think cause a bit of damage on the right side. or at least he's predicting Shigaraki's attack that's coming from the right side and is able to dodge it, which surprises the other heroes around as he managed to see it coming and all that stuff and dodged it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, more attempts to attack as Shigaraki does more attempts to attack Bakugo. We see him going from behind as we get a bit of an explanation about his quirk explosion for those who cannot remember and all that stuff. About how his sweat glands produce like the nitroglycerin to cause which allows him to create the explosions and all that stuff. But apparently, but due to the cluster thing, it's causing a side effect which even Bakugo wasn't aware of, and apparently that due to what he's been doing, it's put a lot of burden on the sweat glands. So let's see. In many ways, due to that, they've been forced to find other ways across his body to release the explosions and all that stuff. So in other words, apparently he's able to create explosions now all around his body, which allows him to give even more speed, even though it is completely hurting him and all that stuff. With Bakugo thinking that, with how his hurts and how he's improving and all that stuff, he wonders is this what Midoriya had to go through and all that stuff. And he wonders if he now can think that Midoriya, if he can now still be able to catch up to Midoriya, as we see his face broken and beaten and all that stuff. But anyway, we cut to Shigaraki and we see just how we start to see that Bakugo is starting to anger him and all that stuff, despite the fact that he possesses him, despite the fact that he's just some random extra that doesn't really in his eyes, that doesn't possess one for all and all that stuff. And then, interesting enough, it seems he's now thinking Shigaraki is somehow thinking of an image of the second user of One for All. And due to this, apparently he suddenly starts to panic, where he then reaches out attack, telling Bakugo to go to hell, I think. As Bakugo ends up getting images flashing to a cloudy silhouette of All Might that we sometimes see with when Midoriya looks at One for All. As Bakugo is thinking about how when he finally met All Might, he was a punk going through some stuff. So he missed a chance to ask All Might, in which he come out of his pocket the card that he has of All Might, in which he and Midoriya had when they were younger. Thinking about how he wanted an autograph so badly from All Might. But as we see his heart's getting pierced, as we cut to the next page of where Shigaraki has blown through his chest, despite the many attempts of all the other heroes there, from the Big Three and the Bunny Girl, all desperately trying to stop Shigaraki from harming Bakugo, fail. As we see it pierce through his chest and all his gadget bits come off. As we get a news reporter talking about how they had clear skies over the Kanto, Chubu, and the Kanto regions, but according to the volunteer weather report, as we see Best desperately try to arrive to grab Bakugo. They talk about a sunrise and temperature is disrupting the weather patterns, with someone saying it looks like rain, which seems to be, which if I recall, might be due to this results of some of the battles that have taken place between Shoto and his brother Dabi.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yep.
With Shigaraki mocking the heroes, asking if they really think they could win the fight and all that stuff. He talks about how they came prepared for how they came prepared for the day with the perfect demon lord body ideal as the final boss. As Best Genus is looking on more shocked as Shigaraki declares that what's coming now is their story, the story of villains and all that stuff. As we cut to Bakugo's parents, let's see, with like the mother wondering, thinking about how their son hates the rain as he's no fan of it. As we then cut to then back to like the let's see about 5 different groups of heroes. Best Genus, Manuel with Momonoa. Let's see, the rabbit girl. I always forget her name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to actually search it.
You say search it every week, Blue. Every week, Blue.
Oh, yeah, Mirako.
Yep. Just write it down and have it next to you at all times.
Let's see. Yeah. So, yeah, I really should do that, or at least get the wiki pages up.
Just have them up every time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a recurring habit that I really need to actually work on.
You remember names, man.
Yeah. And let's see, Lumenium and of course Arazara shocked as we hear Best Genus shout, "His heart!" As the final double page spread is Bakugo bloody and all that stuff with a big hole for his chest, as it is like card from like all those years back is broken, damaged, and bloodied all over, ending the chapter of a cliffhanger. Possibly implying that Bakugo may be dead. So, your thoughts, Mangareader?
If I didn't already know what the spoilers were, this would be actually it's a lot. It's even more shocking. So,
yeah,
I was actually surprised that they never really tackled the idea that Bakugo could use explosions from otherwhere but his palms. But you know,
yeah, it seems like they finally addressed that question.
Right?
And apparently, as a result, it allowed him to gain a bit more speed. And in a sense, well, even though he felt pain at the same time, it also apparently, in a sense, gave him an idea of like, was this what Midoriya was going through when he was learning how to use One for All?
Right.
So yeah. Not to say that Bakugo never went through like painful training before, because I remember like the summer camp one, they all went through like pushing the elements of their bodies, but
Right.
this seems to be the first time that Bakugo has gotten a sort of similar power up in the manner of like Midoriya.
I think it's just because he's already beaten up that he's feeling pain all over. But you know,
that does probably also play a factor. To be fair.
Beyond that, I mean, it makes sense. I don't know. It definitely didn't increase his power or anything, but it did increase his speed dramatically. I'm actually kind of surprised about the whole second user thing. Maybe that. I mean, we've been contemplating this whole time what that second user's ability might be.
And it seems like this might be the first hint of what it actually is.
Right.
From what I am guessing, given the fact that Shigaraki just seemed to have some sort of like, it sort of got on a panic mode when thinking of that second user, it seems to imply that he might have a similar explosive ability to Bakugo.
Possibly.
If that does so, that would explain the arm cannon.
Could. It would be weird, like in some ways, to have a user. Oh damn! That could.
Sorry.
I was just thinking about something now that I thought about it. It's like, well, you know, it'd be weird if that were an ability that was as good. We all know Bakugo's ability was pretty damn good from the beginning because they made it. That's what they literally told us when we first saw him.
Yeah.
That his ability is ridiculous. But then we learned like all the abilities of the previous owners of One for All were I paused there for a minute. One for All was were like basically quirks that made no sense on their own. So now I'm thinking, oh shoot, if his is an explosion based, well, it's pretty easy to know what that could potentially be now. If it's not a good ability.
Fair enough.
Deku's gonna self-detonate.
Oh. I'm not sure that's where it's going to lead, but who knows?
That's a potential possibility, because again, if it's a one-time explosion type ability, because it would have to be something that's not particularly strong, on its own, essentially.
My guess it would be something that will be similar to Bakugo, but a much more weaker version, at least when it was initially out.
I guess, but then what's the point of killing off Bakugo, potentially, if this were to say if this heart thing is actually going to be your kill off? And I'm actually now interested to know, like, was he carrying the All Might card with him the whole time? Or did he just manifest that out of thin air?
Well, given how the double page spread shows the card there, I think it's clear that he's had that card at least this entire time, or at the very least, he took it into this battle itself.
Right. Which would mean, I wonder if this thing going on in his head is just him envisioning what's going on around him.
If I had to guess, he's probably realizing that he might just be dying, so he's thinking about, let's see, some of his regrets.
Right, but him pulling out the card would mean that he's still somehow doing that. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe he did have it with him at all times. Yeah. Just weird that it would show up in the position where it showed up at. Like right next to him and whatnot. But whatever. Either way, I'm curious to see what that might imply. Because maybe he might have a connection to
the second user.
Well, not even just that. I'm curious if there's also the possibility that One for All might actually literally mean what it says. One for all.
So you're thinking it might just save Bakugo or something?
I mean, it's not unlikely for this series. Or for any shonen series in that regard.
Fair enough. So, yeah, I suppose the main topic of the thing is, do you actually think Bakugo is dead? When you read this chapter, do you think like, oh, he's going to survive, or oh my god, is he actually going to die?
I mean, if we're talking about them actually showing his heart getting punctured.
Yeah.
Originally, what I thought I was looking at when I saw it, I thought he like caused like some massive explosion from his heart. But now that you pointed it out again from rereading it, definitely was Shigaraki that somehow hit his chest or something like that. So
yeah, with his mutations, I believe.
Yeah. So it's like I said, I'm like, on the one hand, I thought maybe, just maybe, it was him getting so excited from the battle itself that he accidentally shot out from the only place left that he could shoot out from, which was his chest, but that's not the case. But even still, with that being said, again, the fact that Genus is saying his heart and everyone around him is showing concern, it's like it's hard to see him not being dead from that.
Fair enough. Let's see. Now, I wonder if I should ask this question or should I wait for the next chapter? But if he is dead, do you see him coming back to life or do you see him permanently dying?
This is shonen, man. I don't know any series that has killed off their
Rival.
rival, duragonist, whatever you want to call him. Protagonist. I mean, he's a protagonist, but I say duragonist, however that's pronounced, duragonist. Basically, the second guy behind the protagonist.
Dutologist?
Dutologist.
No, wait, Dutragonist. But yeah, the second main character. So you're not convinced that he's dead?
Dutragonist, which is the second in importance to the protagonist.
Uh-huh.
Dutragonist. That's what it is. If he does it, he's ballsy.
Yeah.
If Kohi does it, he is an absolute ballsy man, because this Bakugo has been the #1 character for like 4 polls now, man. 4 polls. If he kills off Bakugo, he is ballsy.
Yeah, especially since Japan is very picky and very protective over characters in the top of the polls.
Yes.
Let's see. Perhaps maybe into an unhealthy amount of extent, if you ask me. But then again, this is also apparently this is probably arguably the final arc of the series. So
yeah, the only thing else they could do is like maybe a epilogue. An epilogue afterwards, which is just an after story.
Yep. But yeah.
So yeah, it would be absolutely ballsy if Bakugo is like truly dead.
Oh yeah. Not to mention, it's like, let's see, the rivals, like you said, the second main character being the first, it'll also be like the first casualty of this war. Because so far we have yet to see any actual deaths.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen any impactful deaths anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Midnight, and yeah, it was, but it's not like super impactful because it was off screen, and it's like, I mean, we like Midnight, but she didn't really. She was more of a teacher in the series. We didn't really ever see her too much in action.
That's fair. But yeah, she was like the biggest, well, let's see, arguably the biggest casualty in the last war was actually Twice. You felt more about
the reason Twice being lost isn't really per se bad because he's a villain.
Yeah, but it's actually one that you kind of, let's see, but there was a character that people got so used to seeing.
Yeah.
And his death was so sad. It was like, wow. In many sense, it's like, how is it that the villains got the more sympathetic death in that arc compared to the heroes?
I guess it's because they tried to paint it in the light of, oh man, the heroes are willing to kill the villains at all costs.
Yeah. And also, let's see, Twice really cares for like his League of Villains friends.
Right. Well, that, and because we spent like a whole freaking arc before that, like getting the villain side of the story through the.
Yeah.
Unless you're an anime only watcher and somehow you watched it in reverse.
That may occasionally happen.
Well, we watched it. You watched it in reverse because they switched the arcs around.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Sorry.
Stupid bones. Why'd you do that? I mean, I know why you did it because of the movie, but it's like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I mean, theoretically speaking, it probably did go on at the exact same time, but it's just like, we want manga accuracy.
Well, let's see. Well, it's as we've seen from previous events. Let's see. Let's see. It's not as unsurprising that movies somehow have an effect on anime and manga publication, as we saw with like Naruto and The Last. And recently, apparently, Wano was cut a bit short in One Piece so it could tie into the film Red.
Which is, by all accounts, looking like it might be pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah. It's one of the highest grossing anime movies of all time. It still hasn't been released worldwide yet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The Shanks movie?
Yes, at least a film about that centers around Shanks.
Right. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to get any more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not as popular outside of Japan. And I can't really explain why.
Well, from what I can understand, it has had it has also been out in France and it's had its biggest opening ever for an anime movie there. So who knows?
Did it?
Yeah.
It might have some calling in certain areas. I just know that for whatever reason, Dragon Ball is always going to be
popular in the West.
Yeah.
Well, I do say it probably didn't help that 4Kids dubbed damaged its reputation, but it has recovered over time and is probably one of the more now probably regarded as for most fans, if they're not like a diehard Naruto fanboy or Bleach fanboy, would say that One Piece is arguably the best of like the big three.
Well, you're saying it because you like One Piece anyway.
Well, yeah,
and you hated the Naruto ending. And quite a few Bleach fans probably didn't like how Kubo had to, albeit not knowing whether he was going to live or die, had to rush his ending. But
no, but I think it's fair to say that One Piece is better than the other two, even if I wasn't a fan of One Piece.
Even if I wasn't a fan of One Piece, because I still hated the Naruto ending.
Well, yeah, yes, I did hate the Naruto ending, and back then I used to enjoy Naruto more than One Piece, but...
Well, I think One Piece has its one... It's funny because, again, One Piece has been going on longer than those two in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But Oda knows what he's doing because he had most of it more or less planned. It's not like he's writing like Dragon Ball did, where it was like week to week. It's like, oh shit, what am I going to do this week?
Yes, One Piece is regarded as probably one of the best series to ever have world building. Now, let's see.
It's narratively there. I think that if there were any one thing about lack of appeal with it, it's probably because Oda himself has outright admitted that he doesn't really care for flashy battles. And for whatever reason, that's what catches our attention the most is flashy shit and all that.
Yes, that does seem to catch the attention of US, fans, which is why probably series like Naruto, Dragon Ball, and My Hero Academia have become so popular there. It probably also helps that
At least My Hero does some pretty good world building too. Naruto kind of stopped after part 1 in terms of world building.
The way I see it, Naruto did some world building in part 1. Depending on the arc, did some world building here and there, and then some very last minute world building for the final arc when it came to the Fourth Great Shinobi War.
Right.
But by that point, people already couldn't really give couldn't really give a dang about characters like Samurai and Cloud Ninja who were not Killer Bee.
Right. But so One Piece doesn't necessarily, it has fight scenes, but it's not like gung-ho about those fight scenes, and it doesn't Oda doesn't go like above and beyond on those fights.
Yeah, though I'll probably say when One Piece does get to those fight scenes, they are really good.
when it does have those fight scenes, they're
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, like chapters 1000 to 1003 are like prime examples where it just pretty much focused on the battle between the Worst Generation and the Yonko,
Right.
but best to get back to My Hero Academia.
Right. I wonder when the 4th film is coming out for My Hero.
Oh, I'm sure they'll probably announce something.
I like how Koei was going to stop at it too, and like,
Man.
well, oops, popular demand demands otherwise.
Uh-huh.
All right,
Yes.
fine. Here's your 3rd movie.
But
All right, fine. Here's your 4th movie.
but yes, let's see. All the movies are canon. You're unlikely to get. You're probably not going to get any reference to those events during this like fight against Shigaraki.
It'd be hard to fathom where it would be. The only one that could potentially, and they probably didn't do it at this point, was 9. But
Well, 9 was killed off in that film.
that's what I'm saying. But that would be like the only reference Deku could be thinking back to that battle, so to speak. Possibly, but I doubt it. I doubt how he's going to do it. If he does, I'll be like the first to be like, well, I was completely wrong, but it would be cool if he incorporated some of the attacks that he displayed in the previous films. Yeah. Obviously, Double Detroit Smash ain't happening.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Those movies are the only time you're going to see that.
That was that twice, actually. I don't know how it ended on that twice. That was the deciding move twice, albeit for different reasons.
But yeah. Well, yeah.
Basically, what I'm saying is I'm hoping World Heroes Deku does his version of what All Might did.
Well, I will just say that there's no the double let's see, Detroit Smash for that film, which I take it you have yet to see yet.
What was that?
Let's see. The Finland Midoriya fights in that film is a 1-on-1 fight, so no team ups like the last 2 times.
Oh yeah, that's what I said in the. Oh yeah, that would explain why we didn't get double Detroit Smash, but it would also explain that Koei finally learned that hey, Deku doesn't need to fight with another person.
But yeah. So anyway, So
I'm still left puzzled as to how. Okay, so we still have no idea what the Toga battle is like, and I have no idea how they're going to get back to that at this rate.
Well, from what the next chapter implies, that seems to be, let's see, we'll probably end up getting something along the lines, or at least it could potentially lead to something like that.
Right.
But yes, anyway, let's see. One thing that I am probably also liking in this chapter is like Bakugo's like thoughts and thinkings of like Midoriya and All Might, given the fact that these are probably the 2 characters that have defined him for so long.
Well, those were the only characters that defined him, other than Kirishima.
Yeah, the only person here I would probably consider a friend in the school.
Yeah. Well, there was also isn't it Denki?
Denki a bit, but that was more of like a make fun and like, you're just the 3rd wheel.
Yeah. Charge my cell phone. What do you guys just think I'm a free battery?
Yes.
Well, darn. Yeah, Denki seemed to have more unintentionally with Mineta than. But he was pretty good friends with Kirishima, so yeah, I don't know. Denki, yeah, I guess Denki's still somewhat of a 3rd wheel, but
yeah, I would say he's probably improved a bit, but I think he still probably annoys Bakugo.
Right. I want to say the Denki friendship obviously started at the Pro Hero exam, but I think expanded during the festival.
Fair enough, but yeah. But anyway, with like all those friends and stuff, I am looking forward to seeing people's reactions to like Bakugo being possibly dead. Because so far, the only one from Class 1A to actually see the death is Ayazawa, if it is a death.
Right.
But we have seen none of the students. I suppose we also have like the student from Class 1B seeing it. So
Right.
I expect in like probably in the next few chapters or so, we'll probably at least see the members of Class 1A that are keeping like this whole UA prison dome thing in check are probably going to be shocked once they hear the news. But yeah.
If they're they're gonna have to report something possibly. But
But yeah,
I'm curious now because again, we're still Deku somehow still so far away.
Yeah. Now, granted, Shikaraki's managed to accomplish his goal of like in killing Bakugo. So when Midoriya arrives, he'll be free. We now just have to wait and see how Midoriya is probably going to react to seeing Bakugo in the state that he is.
Right.
Now, granted, we know for the last few arcs is that Midoriya has been thinking about wanting to save Shigaraki. But will he be able to still have that mindset if he sees Bakugo's corpse on the floor and all that stuff?
Well, I guess we'll have to see on that one. I feel like this is like every shonen where it's like, oh man, we got to get the dark hero before we get the light hero.
But yeah,
the dark hero that beats everyone's ass.
It always ends up being a bit of a problem for when
unless you're One Piece, and then I can't think of a time where Luffy really ever got like some dark hero level type shit.
Let's see.
One Piece.
Luffy had pretty much the bigger closest he had to despair was losing his crew from Kuma.
Right.
He got but the only time when you actually saw Luffy break was when Akainu actually killed his brother.
Right. But he didn't do he didn't like get anything from that. He didn't like go on like some badass rampage.
It's like this is like which is good for him because that's Luffy. He shouldn't be like that.
Right. Then again, I guess Goku never really got like that type of power up. But we had Ichigo, we had Naruto, we had. I guess we kind of had Deku's moment before with him just trying to find Shigaraki, but.
Well, you could possibly use more of Gon from Hunter x Hunter when he finds out Kite is dead again.
That too. I was gonna say that. I mean, you had Yusei and Yu Yu Hakusho with his demon form before he mastered that power or whatever.
But yeah, I'm pretty much certain that Midoriya is probably not going to get some dark power, but rather just probably going to get angry enough that he straight up punches Shigaraki in the face as hard as he can.
I mean, he already did that the first time during their first encounter.
Probably, yeah, but this time it'll probably work.
It'd be totally crazy because, I mean, it's not like he wasn't using 100% in that battle.
But yeah, but let's see, he'll probably be fast enough and so enraged that Shigaraki would not be able to see him.
Yeah, probably not. We'll see though. Whenever Deku gets there, good lord, he's gonna write this. I'm telling you, man, we're almost at chapter. Oh wait, no, another 40 chapters, and we'll be at 400. 38 actually, 38 chapters, and we'll be at chapter 400.
Yep.
Dude might actually, dude, at the pace he's going right now, dude might actually try and make this like 450 chapters. Or possibly try to get to 500.
Possibly, though. I'd still probably say at least 450 is probably the
more likely.
Yeah.
Sure. But I'm just saying, I know we were joking the one time about like, oh man, Koei would have to pad this out to get to 500 chapters, and it's like, well, we're kind of padding this out right now.
Yep. Yeah, and we haven't even covered the other battles yet, besides the Toga one, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like how Shigaraki seems to be completely getting angry with like Retsu dealing with like Bakugo, despite the fact he feels him like such a minimal threat. I do like how his speech is, because this is probably the one thing we have yet to comment on, but I guess it's because it's so minor. Is like the Sun Eater stuff with like firing the cannon against Shigaraki. As expected, it failed.
I was reading some of the comments on this. Like, we spent a whole chapter last time seeing him do this cannon thing, and it proved worthless in the first 2 pages of this frame. It proved worthless.
Well,
worthless.
That was to be expected, really.
I know, but it's just like you do all this cannon thing, and it's like, man, it doesn't do anything, like even remotely.
Well, I guess that's what happens when Shigaraki is apparently as strong as All Might was. So it's like if this wouldn't work on All Might, do you really think it will work on me? Kind of situation.
Think about it. Remember All Might in his prime? Would something so pathetic have killed him? Come on, use your heads. Damn, we never even seen All Might in his prime. This is what All Might in his prime was like? Holy crap.
Well, remember, let's see, he did say that, against that Noma, it would only take would have only taken like 6 punches or something.
He did say it, yeah. Back in my heyday, it would have taken 6 punches, right. Because it was only nullification, it was only vibration, not nullification. It was I meant impact absorption.
Yeah.
So he said it would have only taken like 6 blows to knock him out of the arena back in his heyday.
Yeah.
Damn, man. I mean, we also saw that his not full power at that point was changing the weather.
Yeah.
It's like, holy crap, man. What the hell was All Might?
Well, it does make you think that, okay, you can see why All Might has become such a beloved figure. He's got those, like, OP feet. I mean, you couldn't quite tell if they were true or not, but it turns out they are.
Yeah. I just don't know how without... And we've gotten so confusing. Mind you, I've probably forgotten how they developed this body to be like All Might level, but how are they doing this with with all these supposed quirks making it All Might level?
Well, remember, the scientist did the scientist.
I know he said he did experiments, yada yada yada. Yeah, I'm aware. It is what it is.
But yes, and also the fact that apparently Shigaraki is apparently living proof of like his quirk theory.
Right. Oh, the quirks get stronger with more memory or some shit like that. I don't know.
Let's see, the quirk's memory. Let's see, a bloodline passes down to future generations, I believe.
Something like that. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what quirk theory was. Either way. Damn. Yeah, all these impressive attacks, and it's just like, oh man, I knew it wouldn't work, but it's just like, oh man.
Well, nevertheless,
Deku's gonna come in and he's gonna start punching, and it's gonna be somehow more destructive than this massive laser.
You have seen All Might's punches.
I know, we've seen All Might punches, dude. I'm aware of this. Dude could punch him and he'd like finger flick him out of the stadium.
But yeah,
But yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Midoriya's gonna be like literally as strong as All Might in terms of
physical strength.
Yeah. I think he's just gonna be superior based on like mobility and all that kind of jazz. Like he'll still hit about as
Fair enough. Oh, I guess
it's tough to say because his 100% is literally throughout his entire body, where All Might could use 100% in any particular one spot. Deku's 100% literally is just thrown throughout himself without killing his body.
fair enough. Though who knows? We'll still have to wait and see if Koei has changed this a bit for Deku.
We might see, we might not. Who knows? At this point, it seems like every time we talk about, well, you know, with this quirk, that quirk, this is what could happen at the end. I'm frankly sick and tired of trying to predict the ending at this point.
Fair enough.
We'll leave that for when we get close to the actual ending at this rate.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing I will probably at least say at the beginning of the chapter, despite the fact that the laser cannon failed, I do like how Sunita reflects on all the people that have helped him gain his confidence and all that stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so yeah, is there anything else that needs to be covered, or do you think that's it?
I think we got pretty much the gist of what this was, outside of all of our extra ramblings of outside sources.
Uh-huh. So yeah, tomorrow's chapter will probably come out to, let's see, well, tomorrow pretty much. Sorry, I'm losing track of where it was, but yeah. But
Tomorrow's chapter will come out tomorrow. That's some insightful sleuthing.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, there's a poor. Let's see, I'm getting tired now, but yeah, the next chapter will be officially out tomorrow, and then we can arguably confirm all the stuff that we've been predicting there and all that stuff, and some things that we probably not expected, but
right.
But yes,
unless we saw the future and knew exactly what everything was beforehand.
But yes, this is quite the phenomenal cliffhanger to leave My Hero Academia on. Probably the biggest cliffhanger the series has ever done.
And they did this cliffhanger knowing that the following week would be a damn day off week. So, yeah, you guys got to sit on this for an entire week, not knowing what would happen until now, because the chapter is going to be released tomorrow.
Yes.
2 weeks to be exact. That you had to sit on this for 2 weeks, the end of the week, and then the full week, and then
And then let's see, we'll have next chapter to discuss to confirm all the stuff we've been asking in this one.
Yep.
But yeah, overall, I'd probably give this chapter a 9 out of 10, just mainly because for that ending.
Yeah, I'd go maybe as high as 9.5.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I mean, it still has a few little minor flaws, but this chapter is arguably for the most part good and all that stuff. With like Bakugo thinking back to us, like let's see, comparing himself to Midoriya, thinking back to when he wanted to get All Might's autograph, to like let's see, a trio failing to like stop Shigaraki and all that stuff. But yeah, stuff like that has brought up quite a bit of
some things.
Yeah. And it looks like this current war against the villains is going to suddenly turn into a dark turn and all that.
Very well.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty good chapter. So anyway, Mangareader, thank you for joining me. And sorry that I ended up being late because I waited so long for Luckychi. But given how tired I am, I now have something to regret that.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Yeah.
Oh well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, any closing thoughts you want to give, or are you done?
No, I mean, closing thoughts. No, I'm good.
Fair enough. Well, everyone, for those who ended up watching even if it's only briefly, or decided to wait until the stream has ended, thank you for coming so far. And I look forward to when we discuss the next chapter and all that stuff. For I am Blue Star Saber.
I'm Mangareader.
And we are now signing off. Plus Ultra, everyone.
Plus Ultra.
And with that, goodbye.